Hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word. Ah, can't see. What's wrong? Can you see through these glasses? Probably. Kind of. They probably make me look funny. Well, anyway, you ever get glasses? Since a few years ago, my eyesight started going bad, and I couldn't see as well as I used to. And then I noticed, like, during the day, if I'm reading with glasses, starting in the morning, I'm stuck. Like, all day, you have to use glasses to read and stuff. It's just the way it is when I'm older. But it's staying, the glasses help your eyes focus on what you're reading, like the Bible. So today, let's talk about that, staying focused on our ministry. Okay, so I'm going to be reading today from Matthew 10 verses 9 through 15, and this is staying focused in ministry. Okay, and remember, we're at the point where this is after the Sermon on the Mount, and Jesus is sending out the 12. Okay, so he's sending out these 12, and we already talked about different things to start off with. Today we're talking about some specific stuff. But what I want you to see through this whole thing is how Jesus is telling them different stuff. But the reason he's telling them this different stuff is this. He doesn't want them to be distracted with other things. He wants them to be focused on the ministry which he's telling them to do. Okay? So in the same way, we are not to be distracted from other things. We need to be focused on the ministry. So I'm going to go down through this starting at verse 9. It says this: "Do not get any gold or silver or copper to take with you in your belts." Okay, no bag for your journey, or extra shirt, or sandals, or staff, for the worker is worth his keep. Okay, so they weren't supposed to take a lot of money. You'd be like, and we can get distracted like this. We have all this money, and then, like, we're supposed to be doing ministry, and then, like, I have this money blowing a hole in my pocket. Like, what fancy place am I going to eat at tonight, and so forth. Well, they weren't like that. They was just focused on ministry, and God was going to provide. They were counting on God to provide the things they needed. Okay, and the hospitality of the people in that town. Verse 11. "Whatever town or village you enter, search there for some worthy person, and stay at their house until you leave. As you enter their home, give it the greeting. If it is home is deserving, let your peace rest on it. If it is not, let your peace return to you. If anyone will not welcome you or listen to your words, leave that home or town and shake the dust off your feet. Truly I tell you, it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on that day of judgment than for that town." Okay, let me go back up to verse 12. Or verse 11. So they were supposed to go into, when they went into the town, they were supposed to find a home and stay in it the whole time. They weren't supposed to, like, go, the first night, "Oh, this house is really good, but you know what? My buddy said there's a nicer house up the road, and so I'm supposed to stay there." No, don't be distracted by that. Stay in the same home all the time you're there, okay? And let those people take care of you. Don't worry about your accommodations. So that's what Jesus was saying to focus on. Focus on the ministry. Don't focus on where you're staying. And the place that you're staying, if they're accepting of you, let your peace rest on it. If not, move on. Okay? Jesus is saying, minister there, but if they don't want to accept you, move on to a place that will accept you. Okay? So, and then it says, shake the dust off your feet if that town doesn't want you. And that was a visible sign of disgust, really. And this was something the Jewish people did if they ever went to Gentile territory. They would go, as soon as they got out, let's say they were walking through and they had to go through this Gentile territory. When they got to the outer border of that Gentile territory, they would take their shoes off and shake the dust off the feet and everything, and get rid of all the dust, because they didn't want to definitely carry that dust with them. And so it was a visible sign of, like, I'm so glad I'm out of that place. Let me get rid of every sign that I was ever there. Okay? And you're supposed to do that same thing if a town will not accept you. And then Jesus gives a warning. He says that last verse in verse 15. Truly I tell you, if it will be more bearable for Sodom and Gomorrah on that day of judgment than for that town. So he's saying, Lord have mercy, if that town doesn't listen to you, they're going to be in trouble. Okay? And Sodom and Gomorrah they were annihilated. Okay? You can't go to that site today and dig up stuff because it was just like annihilated, torched completely. Okay? So that's what Jesus is saying through this whole thing. But remember, the focus here is Jesus was giving these instructions to the disciples to stay focused on the ministry that Jesus gave them. Not to be distracted about what kind of food you're going to eat, not be distracted about where you're staying or anything like that. And also, if a town didn't accept you, move on to the next town, okay? Because there's many places that they wanted to hear about Jesus, okay? So he's saying, move on, but stay focused. Don't be distracted, okay? And that goes so far today in the ministry you have. Don't be distracted about other things like, oh, what am I going to eat? Where am I going to stay? And all that stuff, okay? We wasted a lot of time with that, but stay focused on ministry, okay? Even to the point of you can get distracted, and there's people that will distract you. They will distract you, and they're not really interested in the gospel, but they just want to ask you, harass you really, and take up your time. We'll move on from those people to people that actually want to hear about the gospel. All right. So hopefully that makes sense. Stay focused. You got your glasses. Stay focused. I keep my glasses on so I can see clearly throughout the day. I need these to stay focused on what God has called me to do. And I encourage you guys to do that also. Stay focused on what God has called you to do. Thank you for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I'll see you tomorrow as we continue talking about how Jesus is sending out the 12. Lord's blessing. I'll see you then.